All right. Hello. Welcome to everyone who is here live. Welcome to everyone who is watching the recording of this. Um, this is a really unique time because we have an eclipse, which we just had yesterday. Or 2 days ago. We had an eclipse this week in the last, day or two, which is a really potent eclipse because this is an eclipse that was in Pisces. And right now we have the nodes technically in Aries and Libra. So to have the nodes in those places, we have the eclipses in those places. But what happened uniquely is that this past partial lunar eclipse was actually in the sign of Pisces. Now, why is this unique? Because it's giving us a peek at what energies you will be working with from 2025. Technically, you could be working with it now because we've just initiated that cycle with the Pisces eclipse. But the nodes will change in January. And then from January 2025, 26 until January 2027, we will be working with the Pisces and Virgo axis. We're currently in Virgo season while I record this workshop, but we have that Pisces eclipse. So this was a little bit of a glimpse of what we'll be dealing with until 2027. There's a couple important themes that I want to talk about regarding that eclipse. And then we will be, by virtue of this conversation, we will be moving into Libra season next. Okay, so we are September 19th right now as we film this Equinox workshop. This is to help everybody prepare for the Equinox for Libra season. But once we get past the Equinox, we will now officially be in Libra season. Libra is a cardinal sign. It's a cardinal energy. It's an air energy. So it is a focus on communication. It's a focus on thoughts. It's a focus on our ideas. It's a focus on our mental limitations, anxieties, stress. Anything in the air element is always connected to either communication, technology, ideas, thoughts, conversation. Like that is the air energy. Okay. So when we look at cardinal air, we're looking at conversations, cardinal being a leadership sign, cardinal being an initiator. So we're looking at conversations that will initiate something new. We're looking at conversations that we need to take in a new direction. We're looking at a new way of leading. We're looking at a new way of sharing ideas. We're looking at a new way of learning. We're looking at, it's like new. It's like the new frontier. Like that's what cardinal energy represents. For those of you who are unfamiliar with cardinal energy or fixed energy or mutable energy, that's Loki. He's going to be just like zipping around the whole time. So yeah, I don't think you'll be able to hear him much because Zoom mutes a lot of the background noise, which is good, but that's my cat flying all over the place. Cardinal energy specifically it's the energy that initiates the seasons. So when we look at the equinox, whether you're in the whether you're in the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere, the equinox is initiating fall or it's initiating spring. When you look at the mutable signs, when you look at the fixed signs, because we do cardinal, then we do fixed. When you look at the fixed signs, it's like the middle of that season. So it's like the peak of it, like the blooming of it, for example, in the summer, like Leo season is that fixed fire energy. It's like the bloom. It's like we're big, we're really in it. And then you go into mutable. And mutable is where things begin to get a little bit more flexible and we begin to release and we begin to change gears. So that is Virgo season, which we just came out of. So Virgo is that mutable energy, and then the cycle begins again. And after the mutable, the flexible energy, we start again with cardinal. And cardinal means we are driving forward and taking leadership. We are moving in a new direction and initiating a new cycle, okay? So when we look at the cardinal energy of Libra, I'm just going to start with some of the more basic stuff. We're going to cross all that off, and then we're going to get into some tarot, channeled messages. I have a couple announcements I haven't made yet, so I'll make those. But let's just give you sort of the basics of this Libra season because we're going to be moving into it. You also have your Libra season guide, which Christina just dropped into this chat. It's in your members area on the website, so you can download it. It's a PDF that's included in the workshop. Definitely read it. It's going to have more updates, some important events for the astrology that will happen through the season. There's some prompts for you as well, so you can journal and really work with this energy in a healthy way. When we think about the cardinal air energy of Libra, we're talking about taking action and moving forward in a way that sparks something new, in a way that is more diplomatic, in a way that is helping everybody to some degree feel heard, feel seen, feel included in the decisions that are being made. So Libra as a leader wants to hear all of the opinions. It wants to weigh things out. That's why Libra is presented as the scales, because we're trying to find balance. We're trying to find harmony. So this season, there's a lot of focus on striving towards harmony, striving towards balance. And that is not always the same thing. So like, it's not always the same thing for everyone, is what I mean by that. So balance for somebody is maybe, 50% eating healthy, 50% eating junk food. Maybe it's 50% work, 50% rest. Balance for somebody else could be 20% work, 80% play. That is a healthier balance for some people. Harmony could be creating distance between you and toxic family members or friends from the past that you no longer want to connect with, or your ex, or whatever it is. Harmony does not mean keeping the peace. Harmony does not mean shrinking yourself down, watering down your needs so that you can be uncomfortable, you can be in discomfort, but everyone else around you can be in comfort. That is not harmony. That is an illusion of harmony that we need to let go of, because especially with this Pisces full moon eclipse that we just left, that we just moved through, Pisces is the ruler of delusion, of illusion, of, what's the word that I'm looking for? When you like trick somebody, there's a word for it. My goodness gracious. Deception, thank you. When you deceive somebody, when you decept somebody, like deception is ruled by Neptune, and Neptune is connected to Pisces. Pisces is also connected to Jupiter, which has no boundaries, no limits, and is forever expanding in every direction. So we don't want to do that. We want to have boundaries. And Libra is saying, in order for me to keep the peace within my own experience, for me to keep the harmony and the balance within my own experience, I need to sometimes say no to certain people. Not everybody can come with you to the next level. Not everybody is supposed to come with you to the next level. Some people, and I'm sure you've heard this before, are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And the majority of those people are in your life for a reason or a season. And that is fine. That is totally okay. And we need to practice non-attachment, because the longer we lie to ourselves, Pisces full moon that we just left, Pisces eclipse, you're working with this energy for years to come, the more you fucking lie to yourself about, I just need to keep the peace, it's fine, maybe you think this is the best that you can do, this is, you just deserve this because you always lived in chaos, you've been through this bullshit before, you know how to navigate it, it's comfortable to some degree, you have the skill set. So you gaslight yourself into thinking that this is a natural state of being, which means it's totally acceptable. And you fall into the delusion and the illusion of you living in deception of yourself, of what your true self really fucking wants, which is peace and harmony and balance, which does not mean all of these people are coming with you. It does not mean that you have to water yourself down for someone else to digest you in a more palatable experience. That's not what it fucking means. That is self-sacrifice. That is betrayal. And you can no longer betray yourself for the comfort of others. And Libra season is going to fucking remind you of that, because right now we have the South Node in Libra. And the South Node is the exit of the universe. The North Node is the direction we're moving in. I talk about this a lot in the nodes workshop. So if you really, really want to dive into understanding how to work with the nodes, which would be really good this time of year, because we are in the season of Libra and the South Node is in Libra. So we have this double amplification right now of that South Node in Libra energy. In the nodes workshop, I talk about the north node being the direction we're moving in, which is a north node in Aries. It's also a cardinal sign, a cardinal fire sign, which is about actually taking action. And fire is about movement. It's about creating something new. It's about taking action, like I just said. So the way that we need to take action, North Node in Aries, directly reflects the mental programs that we need to let go of that currently keep us out of action that we should be taking, because we sit here lying to ourselves, full moon in Pisces, about whatever the situation is. These people will finally change one day if I just love them more, if I just give them more, if I just tell them I'm okay, if I smile and I say everything's fine, but everything's not fine. But what are you doing when you do that? You're actually manipulating the situation. You're lying to yourself, you're lying to the people around you, and you are consciously or unconsciously manipulating the situation so that you can continue to feel safe and you can continue to feel a part of that connection or that community. We are hardwired as humans to look for connection and community because, thousands and thousands of years ago when we were cavemen or whatever it was, that was a way for us to stay safe. That was a survival mechanism. You were still hardwired with the survival mechanism to lie and water yourself down, pretend that your needs don't matter so that you can be accepted by the whole. And when you are accepted by the whole, you have this sense of safety. But deeper than that, and I've talked about this in the past, deeper than that, you have a subconscious program that is so fucking aware that you are lying to yourself and to that connection and to that community, that under this perceived safety is even more fear of what if they find out? What if I can't continue to keep this up? Oh my God. If I am eventually seen and I'm lying in this space and I'm manipulating the space, and this is all for probably the majority of you, all happening in the subconscious mind, because like 95% of the fucking actions we take are in the subconscious mind, which is why we do shadow work, which is why we take these workshops to bring, to shine a light on those parts of ourselves so that we can work with the subconscious and clear it consciously. But like, we have this idea that I will betray myself, I will water myself down, I will keep the peace so that I can find safety in this connection. And that entire thing is me wearing a mask. And if this mask comes off, oh my God, I am still not fucking safe. So you are doing yourself a disservice by living in the illusion, full moon in Pisces, living in the illusion that this is all good. It's not fucking good. And maybe for some of you, like, I'm sure there's still a lot of great things happening in your life. Like, I don't want you to get into this like downer, like won't my whole life sucks. It's like, that's not what I'm saying, but there's probably some connection where you're not being fully authentic about what you feel the need to express because you want to establish a sense of safety there. And the deeper program is that you're still technically unsafe in that experience. So you would sooner find safety and find a release and find relief and a breath of fresh air by speaking your mind, by recognizing that you are not in alignment with this connection, by clearing that connection, living in your fucking truth, taking action in a new way, Aries, North Node, and then with that new vibrational frequency, attracting people who actually match your authenticity. And that is how you will actually progress. That is how you will move through these changes quicker, by holding the authentic vibration that you are. You have a very specific signature, and that signature needs to be expressed. You can only express that signature when you are in flow. And we talk about this in the abundance activation workshop. When you are in flow, you find opportunities for service. When you find service from a state of actual authenticity and actual flow, that is when you begin to expand. That is when opportunities find you. Money finds you, jobs find you, new connections, new collaborations. All of this comes from you being in your authentic flow. And that is what leads to true, deep fucking abundance. I found good abundance. Like, I was making great money when I was an interpreter. Interpreters, like, it's a hard fucking job. But if you are really, dedicated, if you're doing a good job, if you have a good network and you're building your career, you can make great money interpreting. Like, I'm talking $500-600 a day type of money interpreting. Like, you can do really well. And I was getting to a place where like, I remember being like, holy shit, like I'm doing good here. I'm really enjoying this. And then at some point I recognized this isn't 100% fulfilling me. And I could continue to lie to myself and I could stay in that career because the money was good. I liked what I was doing. I was still giving back, but I knew there was something more for me. And I knew that it was still connected to that skill set, but I didn't know how it was going to express itself. So then fast forward, let's say 2-3 years, and I'm like, okay, I find tarot, I find spirituality, I start having clients that I'm using sign language, putting things online. And then I think one day, holy shit, I can do sign language. Why would I not just sign and speak at the same time? And then more deaf people can be watching what I'm talking. And this whole thing naturally progressed. And in that space, I clicked into, oh shit, this is the next authentic self. This is the next layer of what the universe, what my soul has been trying to show me. And the level of abundance that was activated in my life at that point was like fucking pennies before. And I could hire people and work with people and I could donate more money and I could be a bigger service. And we all, everybody on this call has that same story available to them. It might not look the same. It might not reach certain limits or certain things. Like, don't let your ego be like, well, I want that, or I don't give a shit about this, or I don't like, don't get into the game of competing and comparison. Zoom out from the example I just gave and understand that there is a deeper part of yourself trying to reveal itself to you. And all of that comes from us taking ownership over who we truly are, peeling off the fucking mask, living in authenticity, and then beginning to walk down that path with more certainty. Now, all of this is directly tied to the equinox. Why? Because the reason half the people on this call are not fully aligned with their path, or maybe you're on your path and you can feel something deeper coming, but you don't know what it is, it's because there are parts of yourself, me included, there are parts of myself that are difficult to swallow. That like, wow, I have an addiction to coffee. Like, wow, I like that's a real thing. Like, I need to monitor my coffee intake. That same thing, I have been hijacked by just North American way of life. And I can feel that my nervous system at times is more comfortable in the rat race, is more comfortable in chaos, is quite literally addicted to my phone. Like, I have to intentionally put the phone down, lock it away, go somewhere else. Like, we have been hijacked. And I'm not telling you that so that we can spiral into some fucking conspiracy theory about blah, blah, blah. It's like, my point is, you are literally, the majority of us, especially those in North America and Europe, it happens worldwide, but there are places where it is stronger. And being from North America, I can tell you it is very strong in Canada and America. It's very strong in Germany. It's very strong in France. There's other areas where it's strong, Australia. And then there's places like Portugal where I'm like, okay, it's not so strong here. I can wiggle through and I can anchor in easier here. And, you know, they all try the same shit, but there's certain places where it just didn't hold. And I think that's because North America, you know, some of these other places, it's a younger energy, so to speak. Like America's only 200 years old. Like Portugal has been here for fucking how long? You know what I mean? So I think it's the condition in which the place was built. And there is a framework that is built. For example, and if you're not from America, don't just like disconnect from what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying and zoom out from it as a concept, okay? So if you are in North America, you have been literally, like, disagree, don't agree, I don't really care, but I'm just gonna talk freely. You have been brainwashed by the food pyramid that like, this is what you should eat. Like, that's not technically what we should be eating. We shouldn't be eating at the top of the food pyramid all grains. Like, it just, we shouldn't. Like, grains is something that's only been alive for how many years? You know what I mean? Like, so we've been conditioned to our eating. We've been conditioned and hijacked to celebrity culture and to electronics and to all this shit. And when we fall into that space, what it's actually doing is taking from us our sense of power, our sense of navigation. So what we do here in this space, what we do at chriscorsini.com, at Wheelhouse, what we do and what I do with other collaborators and other people who are here to help shift the collective consciousness, what we do is rewild ourselves. And I am in the same shit. I am also struggling with the same shit, with the coffee, with the phone, with the blah, blah, blah. I get it. So like, you're not alone in that. And this isn't a space for shame. This is just a space of when I recognize that this is taking my power away, I can recognize that I am partaking in some sort of experience where I am choosing to give my power away, or I am allowing this thing into my energy field in a way that is taking something from me. When we realize that we are a participant in the exchange, do you know how fucking empowering that is? Because it allows us, cardinal air, to make a new decision and to lead ourselves in a new direction, to speak differently, to see differently, to think differently, to adjust the programming, to adjust the paradigm. And this allows us to move in a new direction and to usher in the new world, okay? So why is this so important? Because everything I just described is part of the shadow, quote unquote. The shadow is not to be swept under a rug. It's not to be thrown out the back door, or it's not to be like shunned and shamed. The shadow is very much here as medicine. You recognizing that you have an addiction to, and I'm using addiction intentionally because Pisces rules addiction. Pisces rules escapism. Where are you addicted to the rush of drama bonding with a friend? Where you want to call up a friend and be like, do you want to hear what just fucking happened? Oh my God, blah, 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 blah. And then you start going off and you're pumping all the serotonin, all the cortisol, everything in your body starts moving. And then you have to come back down. And then a day, maybe 2 days later, a couple hours later, we want to get back on that phone call. We want to talk the gossip. We want to talk the bullshit. We want to get involved. Or someone cuts you off on the highway and you want to freak the fuck out. It's because there is part of you that is so addicted to the rush of always being late, but arriving on time. Addicted to, did you hear what just happened? Addicted to the coffee, the alcohol, the shopping, the phone, the sex, whatever it is, we all fucking have it, myself included. So where can you zoom out and recognize there are certain addictions? And trust me, I come from, a family of addicts. It's like not my immediate family, but like I have addicts within my family, and I can feel it in the lineage, and I can see it presenting itself in different people at different times. And my point is like, for us to acknowledge that I'm engaging in this, I can then zoom out and say, I don't want to engage in that. I'm going to take my power back and I'm going to choose differently. And that takes fucking time, and that takes a lot of effort, but we're here for that. As humans, we're here for that. As a support to you, I am here for that. The community is here for you. There are so many talented individuals that helps us break free of those chains so that you can rewild yourself. So when we look at that shadow, when we look at that addiction, when we look at the ways we want to escape something, when we look at the delusional stories we tell ourselves, when we look at the illusions that we live in, when we process the deceit and the betrayal, the hidden enemies, this is all Pisces, the hidden enemies. When we can process those emotions, we can integrate the shadow. The equinox is about balance of light and shadow. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. This is the energy we're all working with. In the southern hemisphere, we are initiating spring. In the northern hemisphere, we are initiating fall. We are living in a shared conscious reality. You can tap into both energies at all fucking times. So even if you are going through the dark night of the soul and you are going through a struggle, recognizing that you're moving into the fall equinox and you have so much shit that is revealing itself, the leaves are beginning to fall, the colors are changing, the way you see the world, the way you see yourself, the way you see the people is shifting. Lean into that. Lean into that release and access the spring equinox, which is happening on the other side of the planet, and begin to build some healthier habits. Just one thing. Begin to set some new goals for yourself. You don't have to do it all at once, but it's important to understand that you can tap into the other side of the coin because this is a collective shared experience. So yes, maybe you're in the southern hemisphere noticing that you're planting seeds, you're getting ready, and as you want to build, you're recognizing that fall equinox energy is still present. And you're like, whoa, in order for me to build, I need to recognize that colors are changing, that my perception is changing, and I need to let people go. Not everyone is supposed to come with you into the next chapter. And when you let go of the illusion, when you don't gaslight yourself, when you don't live in the delusional story that everyone is meant to be here forever, when you practice non-attachment, the sooner you release all of the anxiety around it and you fall back into trust. Pisces rules faith. Do you have enough faith to get you through the next 90 days? Do you have enough faith to get you through the next 12 months? Do you have enough faith in yourself, in your internal compass, to pull off the fucking mask, South Node and Libra, to live in your authentic truth, North Node and Aries, and to say, I'm going to let the chips fall where they may, and I'm going to intentionally respond to the world around me instead of react in an impulsive, addictive way that's going to drive more chaos or that's going to drive me into escapism. Like, we don't want to do that. And the reason that I'm putting so much emphasis on this is because when you look at a season like Libra season, like the equinox that we're moving into, you want to look at the birth chart of that season. The birth chart of the season right now, as we move into the equinox, is a lot of shift. Okay, I'm going to go through some of the astrology just to paint the picture. This equinox is happening in the middle of an eclipse portal. An eclipse portal is an opportunity for you to take a parallel step outside of your life and to split off at the exit on the highway, for you to take a right-hand turn at the fork in the road. This is an opportunity for you to do that. This entire season is birthed. This equinox is birthed in the middle of an eclipse season. The decisions you're making for the next 3 and 6 months are decisions that can have you shift your entire life. These are decisions that will have you shifting gears and being fucking terrified and being fucking nervous and being so fucking excited and joyful. Pisces rules fantasy. What do you fantasize for your life? Pisces rules our dream world. What do you dream for your life? The birth chart of this season, the birth chart of the next 90 days, the next 6 months, has a grand trine in an earth element, which means we have so much fucking support right now to actually take that dream and build it as a reality. That's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be blood, sweat, and tears because we have Pluto retrograding in Capricorn and we're getting the fuck away from this outdated concept, more brainwashing that you have to surrender everything, sacrifice everything. You have to work 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours a week, blood, sweat, and tears. You got to be up at 5 a.m. to make your dreams a reality. You know how many hours I worked today? I think I worked an hour and 15 minutes today. Great. That's my reality. Like, I think this whole work, I mean, I just opened a healing space, so I am quite active and I'm very involved in my business, but like, there are days where like, I can just not show up for 3 days and things still move. Like, and the reason I'm saying that is because like, that is a actual example of like my reality. And we made like over 100 grand this month. So like, I don't need to sit here and convince myself I need to be up at 5 a.m. I need to be putting in 100 hours a week. I need to be crying and fighting and sweat. Like, that's an outdated Capricorn way of thinking. We are moving into the age of Aquarius. Pluto retrograde right now is entering and moving through Capricorn for the final time in your fucking lifetime. In your lifetime. So where have your parents' conditioning, where is society's conditioning, where have the social structures and programs that have told you, if you want your dreams to happen, full moon in Pisces, you can build them right now, grand trine in Earth, go for it. However, you need to work 1,000 hours, blood, sweat. No, you fucking don't. There's a reason that this grand trine is supported by Pluto retrograding. Pluto retrograding is the death and rebirth of that Capricorn energy, of that old paradigm. We have to let it go. You can live in so much abundance when you find your authentic flow like this. This for me is an authentic flow. You have your authentic flow. It will lead you to all of the abundance, everything that you need. You need to peel off the mask to get there. And I'm sure a lot of you have already done that. And that's beautiful. So for those of you who have done that, let's start. And I'm sure everybody on this call, everybody who's watching this to some degree has already done that because you're part of this community. If I'm talking about it, we are resonating. We are sharing an energetic alignment. So what I am, you are, and what you are, I am. So if I'm sitting here giving these examples, it's because that's available to you. So a lot of you clearly are already doing the work. Maybe you haven't fully pulled off the mask. Maybe you haven't fully found your path, but you're peeling it back piece by piece. And that's where we are aligned energetically. So how is it that you can lean deeper into the creation of what it is that you need? You need to balance out that light and dark. You need to balance out the dream with recognizing the things that are holding us back and no longer lying to ourselves about it. When we acknowledge where we're keeping ourselves back, we acknowledge that we are keeping ourselves back. We are, which means we are choosing, which means we can then choose to do something different to bring ourselves ahead into a new space. So this is what we're looking at when we talk about the equinox. It's about finding the balance. It's about balancing out the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So maybe we've been, like I said, in that outdated Capricorn way of thinking where it's like this Mars energy, this masculine energy, go, 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 fight, 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 combat. Like you're not going to get ahead if you're not rough. That's so fucking outdated. You can be gentle. Like love is gentle. Love is kind. We are beings of love. We throw this word around. Some of our parents from older generations, they'll say, I love you. They will skew your understanding of love because they have such a fucked up experience from their parents, especially if you're from a family with like immigrants or a family who has deep religious bonds. Like there is so much trauma in there. That is not, I mean, and I'm not saying that, you know, none of your parents love you. Don't take that away from this conversation because a lot of them are, they do. And that's the best they can do. That's the best they could do with the tools that they have. They're living in a limited space of consciousness, but we have this idea of like, we need to get away from the structures, the concepts, the habits that have been built because this energy is really an outdated way of thinking. And in order for us to move forward, we need to balance out that shadow aspect. The equinox is about integration. It's a time of harvest and rebirth. This is about aligning opposites, balancing out the divine masculine. We don't always need to go, go, go. Bringing in and integrating in more of the divine feminine, which is about rest and receiving the wheel of fortune, everything turning in your favor. Jupiter, this is ruled by Jupiter. Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. We just had the Pisces eclipse. For the next 3 years, we are going to be actively working on creating boundaries where we did not have boundaries before. We're going to be actively working on building the life that we truly desire and allowing the wheel of fortune to turn in our favor, to carry us there, to bring us abundance by finding that alignment with the true self. This is a really good time for gratitude, for growth, reflecting on the summer, reflecting on the winter, whatever we just moved through, and understanding what was very much alive for us during that time. The good and the bad. I could tell you 10 things that I fucking loved about this summer, and I could tell you 10 things that were a real struggle. And some of those struggles were me recognizing where I have certain addictive tendencies that I need to clean and that I need to clear still. Some of those are about where I give my power away, where I don't have boundaries, where I'm way too fucking available to 20, 30 people who work for me, who just call me all the time, do everything. It's like, no, fuck no. I didn't like, we need to set those boundaries and be like, this is not good for me because I can't keep the peace. I can't keep the harmony within when I'm pulled in 1,000 different directions. Libra season, we're moving into Libra season, the harmony starts internally. You have to balance yourself internally for you to have an external balanced world. So how is it that we can be grateful for what we've learned up until now? We can recognize our areas of growth. We can look at what has been beautiful, the light, the gifts, and we can acknowledge the shadow, the struggles, and then we can bring them into better harmony. And in that, when the scales begin to balance, we can move forward. So this is the direction that we need to look at. This is about shedding. This is about renewal. This is about the interconnectedness of everything. This eclipse season would be really, well, two things. We have an eclipse in Libra. It's a solar eclipse in Libra, which is initiating, it's opening a new portal. The eclipse we just came out of was a lunar eclipse, which is about clearing shit out, so letting shit go. This next eclipse is I believe it's a new moon solar eclipse in Libra. I don't want to talk about that just because we only have about 25 minutes left. So I'll have an eclipse workshop. Watch that eclipse workshop in a week or two, whenever it's out. I think it's October. Is it October 2nd? Or no, wait, I might be thinking of the Scorpio one, which is November, so whatever. Anyways, I was reading something about a Scorpio moon, so I think I'm screwing up those dates. But we do have an eclipse coming up in more or less 2 weeks from now. So I'll talk about that there just so that we can save time for other things right now. This is about reflection and realignment. This is, again, I don't want to confuse people because they're going to be like, why are you talking about Virgo and Pisces if we're in Libra season? Like, I'm talking about that because Virgo and Pisces are part of the birth chart of the season that we're now moving into. So that eclipse that we had like 72 hours before, or whatever, a couple days before the equinox, like, I really, really want to include the expansion of that energy in this discussion because it is happening. It is affecting us. So the last thing I want to say is that balance between Pisces and Virgo is that Pisces is the soul, it's the dreamer, and Virgo is about making a concrete plan and a strategy and taking action. So how is it that we can feel into that dream world and we can pull the pieces that we want to create, and then we can align them with intentional action and strategy and our day-to-day practice, okay? So this is about embodiment of the knowledge that you've learned. You know what is good for you. You know what makes you feel balanced. This is about you integrating and embodying those things, okay? Oh, amazing. It is October 2nd, solar eclipse. Okay. I could just guess that, but like, okay, so it's October 2nd. We are moving into Libra season. Libra is ruled by Venus. So again, Venus things are going to be very present for us this season. So we're going to be a strong presence, a strong attention and priority on relationships, on giving and receiving, on sexuality, intimacy, vulnerability, on creativity. So anything in those energies, slowing down, rest, intuition, recovery, receptivity, I think I said that. It's also our value system. How is our value system changing? How have your values already changed? And how can you apply this cardinal air energy to integrate into the body and actually work with how your values have changed? You know it doesn't feel good. That means you've adjusted something. So move forward for the next 30 days, the next 6 months, the next year. Move forward, integrating and embodying that knowledge. This doesn't feel good. I'm not going to fucking do this. And I'm not going to water myself down. I'm not going to people please, because the South Node in Libra is asking us to let go of the people pleasing, let go of lying to yourself, let go of harming yourself to keep the balance. We're not fucking doing this anymore. This is, again, really what we dig into in the nodes workshop. So I'm not going to go too deep into it now, but I do want to just talk about, oh my gosh, where's my other little bag? I have a little like chakra. Oh, here. Okay, so I'm going to pull these other things. First, let me just quickly run through this astrology transit birth chart thing, because I talked about I wanted to just quickly go through the astrology of this birth chart. So as I mentioned, Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn. So this is the final opportunity in our lifetime to really purge any of these like daddy issues or any of the like dark, I mean, it's not the last time. You can still do it throughout your life, obviously, but we have a lot of support right now for that. So Pluto in retrograde is the rebirth of any structures, the rebirth of the toxic masculine energies, and recommitting to building the life that we want and desire, We have Mars in Cancer, which is us fighting for the things that we really care about. Okay, I'm gonna express the higher vibrational expressions of these transits and not go too much into like the shadow aspects. But Mars in Cancer is us fighting for what we fucking care about. Okay. We have the sun trining Uranus, which is actually happening today, I believe. And this is about us breaking free and highlighting to ourselves, spotlighting to ourselves where it is that we can set ourselves free in different areas of our life. We have Saturn retrograding in Pisces, which is asking you to pump the brakes for a second and figure out if the life you are building is aligned with your dream life. We have Neptune retrograding in Pisces, which is a wake-up call. It's the slap in the face. It's stop lying to yourself, look at the reality of the situation, take your power back, and make decisions based off of the reality. Make decisions based off of the reality of the situation, not what you want the situation to be, not the potential, what it could be, the actuality, the reality of the situation. Don't lie to yourself. Make decisions based off of that. We have Uranus retrograding in Taurus. That is like dynamite in our old foundations. So again, Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, Uranus retrograde in Taurus, this like explosion in the earth elements, breaking free from that concrete solidification, the calcification, the old foundations that we are stuck in, the old habits, the routines, the beliefs, all that shit. We have so much breakthrough energy right now. We also have Jupiter retrograding in Gemini, which again is like, stop and reflect on the conversations you're having. Are these conversations moving you in the direction of building your dream life? Stop and reflect on, maybe get feedback from or brainstorm with other people to see if there's other ways of doing things, okay? And then the last thing is that we have Venus right at the end of Libra. So Venus is in the final degrees of Libra. And that's the anaretic degree, which is the degree of culmination and release. It's the degree of learning and wisdom. So now we get to take what we've learned and we get to move through this next season as Venus enters Scorpio, and we get to go through a rebirth of our value systems, rebirth of what it means to receive, what it means to rest, what it means to create, what it means to be a sexual, beautiful, aesthetically pleasing being. It's a good time to go through that transformation internally, externally, with your hair, your makeup, your clothes, your home, adjusting things. This is a really good time for that as well. Okay, so we're gonna stop there. I have these dice that have all these different, so this one, oh my God, there's Libra, LOL, of course. That's like, it's 12-sided dice, and I chose the side with Libra, of course. So there's Libra. And then we have, what is this? Pluto. This is all the planets. And then this is the houses. Okay. So I'm going to just roll this out and see what energy, the combination of these three things will give us a hint at something. So what energy is really helpful for everyone to work with this season? All right. I have Uranus. Okay. I have Uranus in Aries in the 6th house. Energy for you to work with. Aries is about taking action. The 6th house is the house of routines, of daily practices. It's the house of body. It's actually the house that is ruled by Virgo, which we've been talking about this whole workshop. Aries is about that North Node energy, moving forward in a new way, taking action. Aries is the opposite sign, actually, of Libra. So it's that North Node, it's that there's a bit of tension here. Okay, yes, maybe I feel uncomfortable, but how can I take action in a new way? And when we look at Uranus in this mix, Uranus is helping us break free. So the suggestion here is take action in a way that allows you to recreate your main character energy in a way that breaks you free from the outdated chains, in a way, 6th house, that allows you to recreate new routines that support your habits, your body, your physical vessel, and to organize yourself in a way that will help you, as I mentioned before, that Virgo energy, plan and strategize the next steps, okay? So there's a lot of breakthrough energy here for us taking initiative to start something new in a way of, or by virtue of our daily routine. So how can you just carve out 5 minutes for you in the morning? Like I wake up every morning and I do 150 jumps on my trampoline just to get my lymphatic system moving. I then go to the beach with my dog. I do like a 10-minute meditation and then I journal. And it's like, yeah, I have to wake up an hour earlier. Actually, I'm like lying to you about that. Like I make my own schedule, so I don't really have to wake up an hour earlier. Maybe you have to wake up an hour earlier right now, and that's totally fine. But when you do that, you will rewrite your programs, you will find better expansion, and then you will eventually write your own schedule too. You know what I mean? I'm sure some people here are already in that space, which is beautiful. So keep down that fucking road. But yeah, I said that, and then like in the back of my mind, I was like, why are you lying? Like I don't do that. But I do try to wake up around like 6 or 7 just because I want to start my day earlier too, which is another part of my new morning routine. So it's not a total lie. Okay, the chakra that we should focus on most is the crown chakra. The crown chakra. How is your mind hijacking your entire experience? How is it that the stories, the narratives, the belief systems hijacking your experience? You're not good enough. It'll never happen. Why are you doing this? This is stupid. This is too hard. This is too long. This is too whatever it is. The crown chakra needs to be cleared. So if there's any time this season where you're feeling really active, clear the crown chakra. Okay? Clear the crown chakra. The last thing I want to do, I don't know if this is going to resonate for everybody, but I just felt really called to do it today. So I'm going to choose a rune. I'm going to choose this rune. So this is the rune. This is going to have a page. I'm going to read the page and we're going to see how that feels for everyone. Okay. This is Gateway. Okay. It's reversed, so I'm going to read both because both are applicable because the energy is present, but we're going to just read both quickly. So gateway, this is the god Thor. Within a gateway, this symbol and this rune indicates that there is work to be done both inside and outside of yourself. This rune represents the frontier between heaven and the mundane, which is literally Virgo and Pisces, heaven and earth, heaven and the mundane. Arriving here is a renegotiation and a recognition of your readiness to contact the divine, to illuminate your experience, and to create new meaning in your life. This is a rune of non-action. Thus, the gateway is not to be approached by passing through without contemplation or forcing your way through there. Here you are being confronted with a clear reflection of what is hidden within yourself, Equinox, balancing out that shadow and the light. What is hidden within yourself, and what must be exposed and re-examined before the right action can be undertaken. We have how many planets in retrograde right now? This is what we've been talking about. How is it that we can recognize the shadow so that we can reflect on that and adjust? This rune strengthens your ability to wait, to be patient. Now is not a time to make major transitions and decisions. Now is a time of deep transformational forces at work, helping you to understand what is actually coming in the next cycle. Visualize yourself standing before a gateway and allow yourself to open up to an entire new life before you. And then we have the reverse aspect, which is a quickening of your development is indicated. You could be moving into a fast time of learning. Although it's accelerated growth, you have a reason to halt yourself along the way and to reconsider the old while integrating the new. Take advantage of these halts. If you are undergoing difficulties, always remember, the nature of your passage depends upon the quality of your attitude, the clarity of your intentions, and the steadfastness of your will. Do you have faith? Full moon in Pisces in the birth chart of this cycle. Be certain that you are not suffering over your old suffering. So do not continue to carry the old suffering forward. Let it go and let God just take it and move into a new direction. This rune demands contemplation and is not, it is not suggested to make hasty decisions at this time, but to reconcile any differences and to realign yourself with the next phase. Okay, so I hope that resonates with some of you. The last thing I want to do is just a quick meditation that's going to help you just clear your energy field. I'm going to leave you after that meditation and I'm going to just disconnect because sometimes at the end of the meditations, people want to just sit in that silence a little bit longer. So instead, I'm going to do my few announcements now just so I can get them out of the way so we don't do a meditation. And then I'm like, all right, guys, listen up. And we have to like get all active again. So the couple announcements that I wanted to make, we already talked about the interpreter. If anybody knows an interpreter or is an interpreter and wants to join us, you can just email us at support@inwardboutique.com and we'll provide training and all that stuff. It would be super helpful because we're always looking to expand our network. The other thing is we sent out an email. We have been invited by the Ritz-Carlton. They are having their inaugural yacht launch from Lisbon, which is this insane 3-day like wellness retreat on the water all through Portugal. It's going to be amazing. So if you guys are interested, we've been able to negotiate a longer early bird schedule or early bird ticket. That'll be closing out on the 30th. There's an email for it. I'm not going to get into it now, but it's like this insane luxury, like biohacking wellness retreat. It's happening on the new moon in Scorpio. So I'm going to do a live like new moon style workshop there. It's fucking sick. And like, honestly, this is like 5-star accommodations in the middle of the water. Like it's next level. So that is one of the exciting things we wanted to talk about. We don't have any flexibility because we did not plan it. We were just invited to be a participant and a collaborator. However, the following week, the 4th to the 8th, we will be hosting our first in-person retreat. It'll be at Wheelhouse. It'll be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 5 days of workshops, 3 days of workshops, and then the other 2 are half days. This is going to be like a clear out all your shit. We're going to do dream weaving workshops. We're going to like plan our stuff and plant some seeds. We have like tapping, we have mantra, we have energy work, Reiki, sound baths. Like it's fucking sick. And you guys have access to all of Wheelhouse. We're going to have a networking event. You have the Salt Cave. You're going to have like super discounts on any treatments, massages, everything. So if you guys are interested in that, that email will be coming out soon. And if you're going on the boat, you can get that at like a super, super, super cheap price because we want you to be able to just extend that whole week and like dive in. It's Scorpio season. So this is a hugely supportive, transformational moment. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And then what was the other thing? Oh, the other thing is we're going to do, we've had a lot of people asking for the live group tarot sessions again. We get a lot of emails about it. So we're going to do one of those next week. We will send out an email and whatever. But if you're interested in the group tarot session, that'll be there. I don't have any plans of coming to the US for a retreat anytime soon. I'm sorry, but I do have an insanely beautiful spot here in Portugal that we just opened. So we're going to be doing retreats there. And we do, because we're creating it, we will have like 5 tiers of pricing. So the earlier you book, the cheaper it is. This way we have like a couple phases of early bird pricing. If you're in financial restraint, email us. We have a couple spots that are like super, super, super discounted. You'll just have to pay for your flight and then everybody can cover their own accommodations. So you can stay at a 5-star hotel, or you can stay at a hostel or an Airbnb. Like you guys can sort that out. It'll also include at least 1 meal every day in the middle of the day. So you're really taken care of. Okay. Those are the announcements. I should have started at the beginning with those. I apologize. But Asha would be really upset if I didn't get them out. So now we can check that box. Let's go into the meditation. Thanks for Christina dropped some of the links in there too, if you guys want to take a peek at it. True. And if you want to do the boat, the code is Wheelhouse. You'll get 10% off of the stuff. Okay. We are going to just clear. Actually, let's work on the crown chakra. Let's clear the crown chakra, because that was the one that came up. So you can just plant your feet on the ground. I like to put my hands on top of my thighs, palms down, because it keeps all of the direction down, which is very grounding. You can either lay down if you want, or you can just try to keep your back as straight, as comfortable as possible. And then just take a deep inhale. And then just exhale, maybe let out like a sigh, or just like the first one, really just like get it all out. Maybe shake a little bit, just make yourself extra relaxed. And then what I want you to do is take Another inhale, and just hold this one at the top. And then at the base of your spine is your root chakra. On the exhale, exhale that breath down into the body, into the root chakra. It's right at the bottom of your tailbone. And I want you to just inhale peace, inhale tranquility. And then on the exhale, exhale and push that right back down into the root chakra once again. And one last time, inhale, balance and harmony and surrender. And then exhale down into that root chakra, and see if you can just relax 10% more. Unclenching your jaw, dropping your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Releasing your tension in your eyebrows or your forehead, dropping your shoulders slightly. And then just taking inventory of what's maybe alive for you right now. Is there excitement? Is there a nervousness, like we don't know what's next? Pisces rules that confusion, and we just had that eclipse, like we're a little confused with what's coming. Is there anxiety around that or fear around that? And then can you look deeper and can you find trust, the faith that is also there, that keeps you going? You've been guided to this point in your life. You're still alive and everything worked out, which means right now you're being guided. You'll be guided into the next phase. So can you lean deeper into that trust and into that faith that everything is working out as it should be? And now what I want you to do is just envision that you're sitting in the dark. And then bring your attention up to your head, to the top of your head, the crown chakra. And I want you to just envision that anxiety. I want you to see it like bats, like flying around in the night. There's just all of these bats flying around in the night. And it's like, oh my God, these thoughts, this anxiety. If at any point over the next 30 days, 60 days, 6 months, you want to redo this practice, this is always available to you, but just feel into that anxiety for a second, or feel into that worry or that fear. Or maybe you're just overthinking. It doesn't even always need to be fear. It could just be that you're caught in this loop. And now the deeper we lean into whatever emotion is tied to that, the deeper we can clear it. So just really feel for a second that anxiety or that looping thought or whatever it is. And then I want you to visualize it again, like those bats are just flying all over the place. And then I want you to imagine that beside you, there's this golden light, and just turn on the light. And when you turn it on, all of the bats, they just fly away because they don't want to be near the light. So they just leave. And you're just beside this glowing, illuminated light. And then once you've turned that light on and all of the noise has flown away, all of the bats have left, I want you to take a deep inhale into that space that is now available. And then on the exhale, ground that back down into the root chakra. And now imagine like an anchor, the root chakra drops down into the center of the earth, and you're deeply connected. And on the next inhale, bring white light or golden light up that cord into your body. So now we're breathing in and we're bringing that golden light into the root chakra. And then we're going to bring it up into the body, up into the chest, up into the face, up above the head. And then on the exhale, we're going to let it pour over the body, pour up, out, and over the body. And it starts covering you or golden light as it soothes your nervous system. And then on the next inhale, bring more of that up. Don't be afraid to take as much as you need. This is what it's here for. This is always available for you. So bring it up into the body, up into the chest, the neck, the face. And then on the exhale, let it pour over like honey, like it's glazing you in this gold, in this white, your whole body. And it's just calming everything down. And let's do one more. We inhale that white light up the cord, into the body, the arms, the legs, the shoulders, the back. And on the exhale, we let it out the top like golden lava. It pours down, it covers our whole body, and it adds a layer of protection. And then while we have this cord, we can also release any other emotions down that cord. So just taking a second to feel if there's anything else that you want to just exhale down that cord. Any other emotions, any sadness or anger or frustration or limiting beliefs, just feel into it. Try to identify it. When you breathe in, find where that energy is in the body. Find where that energy is in your energy field. And then on the exhale, push it down that cord and just send it back to the earth. So let's do that one more time. I'm going to say that there's anger and I feel it in my chest, and I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to breathe into that anger in my chest. I'm going to see it. I'm going to gather it up. And on the exhale, I'm pushing it down and out of the cord. It also helps, and I'm going to invite you on this last one to maybe tap on the body or massage the body wherever you find it. Is it your head? Is it your knees? And just tap it as if you're just chipping away at it. And then we inhale while we tap and we chip it away. And then we exhale and the pieces fall down the cord and we give them back to Mother Earth. She welcomes this. Our guides welcome this because they can transmute it. It charges them up. It charges us back up. So give it to them. It's a trade. I'm going to leave you here. I feel like some of you are going to want to continue the tapping. So continue. You're already in it. Keep doing this. Just tapping the body, massaging the body, wherever you feel any stagnant energy. You don't even always have to identify it. That's another thing that I'm really leaning into. We don't always have to identify it and unpack the trauma and feel every fucking emotion. This is not spiritual bypassing when we choose to not unpack every fucking thing in our life. You're allowed to just say, I don't need this right now. I don't want this right now. Just move it out. Just move it out gracefully. So give yourself permission to not unpack every fucking thing. And I want you to just tap yourself in that space. Give yourself permission to release. Take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, release all of that down and out of the cord. Do this as long as you need to right now. Do this anytime you're stressed, anytime you're overactive in that crown chakra. Tap the head, release it, clear it out. Visualize the bats, turn on the light, clear them out. Sit here and move the energy with the cord. I'm going to disconnect. I'm sending you all love and appreciation. Keep an eye on your email for any of the stuff that we talked about if you guys are interested. And if not, I will see you on Instagram or wherever next. You are all loved and guided, and I will see you all very soon. Keep tapping. Like, I'm probably going to sit here and tap for 5 or 6 minutes, to be honest. So yeah, I'm sending you love. Okay. Ciao, guys. The recording will come out in the next 24 hours.